Welcome. So let's start with our paper solution for GS Prelims 2026. So let's begin with the very first question. Now many questions were related to music this time. So this question talks about Hindustani music rag, which is the rag Bilawal, and the question asks which of the following is a rag which is similar to the Hindustani musical rag, which is from a Carnatic music. So the correct answer is Dheer Shankar Bharanam. Now this is the rag which is very closely corresponding to the rag Bilawal. Now it's again important to understand that this is the 29th Melakrit rag from the Carnatic music. However, the other three are different. If we talk about the Hanuman Todi, it belongs, as the name suggests, it belongs to the Todi family. Nat Bhairavi is a different type which is very close to the Asavri type material, and Karmavardhini, which is associated to Pantu Varali, which is another type of style, right? So the correct answer here is 4. Now the next question is a very important question in light of the India's exchange rate being fluctuating over the period. So this question says the artificially fixed rupee sterling exchange rate, which was prescribed by Hilton Young Commission 1926, was adopted by the British government for the reason that it aided remittance from India to maintain and it was maintaining India's credit worthiness. Now it's important to understand that the rupee sterling exchange rate after this Hilton Young Commission suited the fiscal interest was very important for the colonial states. It actually helped the British government to manage the local charges, the home charges, the remittance of the officers, the debts that they were facing, and any kind of external credibility that was there. It was nowhere meant to support the importers or the export of cotton or prevention of the depreciation of rupee. So the sole objective was A in this case. The next question is another interesting question. Now the Pali text has talked about the coins such as Kahapana, Nika, Kamsa and Kakanika. Now these were punchmark coins which had also occurred archaeologically. Now what are the texts, what are the facts which are associated to it? Now these were the references which were depicting the complexities of the economic life during that time. So archaeologist was talking about basically the transition of the money economy and evolution of the lifestyle into an urban lifestyle. So both the options become correct here because they were associated directly with the trade, taxation, market economy and the surplus circulations which were there. The next question is which temple has Nagar style shikhar? Now this is important. Two of the temples, the Dasavat temple Devgarh and the Huchi Maligudi in Ahihol, both of them belong to the Nagar style. However, the Vripaksh temple is a classic example of Dravidian style. Malighati Shivalaya in Badami, again a Chalukya and a Dravidian style temple. So these are important to note that when it talks about Nagar style, it is only 2 and 3. The remaining 2 are generally associated with early Chalukyas and the Dravidian style of temple. The next question, a very important question. Usually we have seen questions from Jainism and Buddhism, and this time 2 questions simultaneously that have been asked. Now this question talks about the 4 main forms of Jainism which have been described. Now the 4 important forms are Dev, Manushya, Triyanchay and Nark. Now Dev explains the god, Manushya explains the human, Triyanchay explain the animal and plants, and Nark explain the hellish thing. However, the hell, right? So Yaksh or Yakshinis were basically the attendants of the Jain gods or were important part of the Jain religion and art and worship. However, they were not included in the 4 major forms of existence. So B would be the answer in this case. The next question, Halisalya painting in the Bagh caves represent a joyous dance form. Now this is associated to a lively expression of rhythmic expressive form rather than a purely meditative and mythological forms which were prevalent. Now these paintings of Bagh caves have been important because they are actually explaining a fluid form of human figures, and they are explaining the graceful movements as you can see in the image here, and this explains the depictions during that time. The next question talks about, we have marked the answer, right? So A. The next question is, which of the following statements about the place value system of India are correct? Now, it's important. The place value system in India was a slow and gradual development. It was not an all of the sudden development. So, it was through the spread of inscriptions, mathematical calculations, and cultural transmissions that these things came into account. So, some of the earliest epigraphic use have been cited in the regions of Gujarat in the Mankani plate somewhere around 595 AD. Also by the 9th century, it became the inscriptions across India, and then Sanskrit in Southeast Asia showed the values somewhere around 7th century. So all of these are correct statements. So all three of them are the right answers here. Now this is a very interesting question on Harappa architecture. Now Harappa architecture, this question talks about the things that you see, right? So spindle whorl but no spinning wheels. Now this and graduated weight and scales, houses with baked bricks, courtyard, wells and bathing platforms. Now this interference explains that when we are talking about spindle whorls, it shows that the people were laborious and it was a labor intensive process that was taken into account, done at home, right? So one becomes the correct explanation. The second says the use of graduated weights and scales. That means measurement tools and scientific knowledge was there definitely. So 2 is again correct. Now the next says that the houses were made of baked bricks, courtyard, well and bathing platforms. Now this talks about the urban planning structure. However, it does not prove the common property system, right? So 3 is incorrect. So you have to be very, very specific. The question this time was not intended on your depth question. The Eka movement and the Bardoli Satyagraha, very important. Eka movement was a movement which was started in the regions of Awadh, and this was a peasant protest. The most important thing was the forced labor, the illegal cess, the higher rents which were charged were the main things which were raised voice for. Bardoli Satyagraha 1928 by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, again a very important movement because it was directed to the increase of the land revenue assessment by the colonial government. So here we would say C is the correct option, which where Bardoli opposes the land revenue and Eka opposes the excessive rent. Now the next question is regarding the Rig Vedic irrigation. Now the wells allowed agriculture away from the floodplain, drought animals, power, drew water. Which of the following support this information? Now the statement says that Rig Ved mentions the Ashram Chakra and Ahav as the for the drawing water. Now that is correct because they were related to the drawing water, and this question talks about drawing water. The next says that oxes were used for plowing and carts even before the Rig Ved, right? So again, this is a correct statement, but when the Rig Ved talks about the axe and sickle, that is not related directly to the water systems, and therefore we have 1 and 3 as the correct option here. So closely understand what the question asks for. So this question is specifically targeting on the water mechanisms, and axe and sickle is generally talking about agricultural tools, nothing related to the system, right? The water system. The next is the question in Pleistocene, Yamuna and Satluj courses have been shifted between Indus and Ganga system. Now, what was the basis for it? The strongest basis for this was the same species of dolphin which was seen in Indus and the Ganga river systems. This biological evidence itself was important to explain that the two river systems were at some point of time connected, because these two species had the same origin, the same principle which we apply in the continental drift theory, where we say the fossils found in the South America are very, very similar to that in Africa, and the same concept here, the same species of dolphin being found in Indus as well as the Ganga river depict that at some point of the course of time they were connected in one form or the other. Now the Nadi Sukta was valuable in the Rigvedic geography, but it does not itself prove the Pleistocene period, right? So again, this is not a very apt answer here. Okay, so the explorations which were done by Robert Foote. Okay, so Robert Foote was actually having a very important role in Indian geology, and his works were again related to the shared dolphin evidences. So again, this is not correct. So only answer would be 3 here. The next question is a very important question. As we said, one was in Jainism already. This is from Buddhism. This talks about what does an empty seat represent in early Buddha iconography. It talks about the enlightenment of Buddha, where it shows the symbol as an indicator of association with the Bodhi tree. So this empty seat shows an association with the Bodhi tree and symbolizes the enlightenment of Buddha which was attained at Bodh Gaya. Also, the other symbols have usually different meaning. The symbol where we say it's a horse which is being depicted talks about the great departure. The wheel talks about the first sermon. The stupa talks about the Mahaparinirbhan. So there are different. Now this question is again interesting. It talks about the common ancient and modern river names. So Vitista was the name of Jhelum, that is correct. Akshani of Chenab and Parshurini of Ravi. However, Byas is associated with Vipasha and not Yaviyanti. So the correct answer here would be 1, 2 and 3. Very basic question expected from the sections on ancient history. If you have covered NCERT, this was a easy question. The next is, which of the following is statement on Amravati Stupa and its sculptures are correct? So Amravati was located in the lower Krishna Valley, that's correct, and it was one of the very important centers of Buddhist art and architecture, a patronage of Buddhist concepts there, and it talked about the new refined modeling and the narratives which were popular during that time. It was also influenced by the South Indian sculpture and reached very south to Sri Lanka. So 1 and 3 are the accepted statements. It was not next to Ranchi in size, that is not proven. So you have 1 and 3 as the correct option. The next is, which king dynasty pair in the early historical Tamikamalam is not correctly matched? So Sengatuvan from Chera dynasty, that is correct. Nidunjalanya from Pandya dynasty, again correct. However, the Udyajalera was not from the Chora dynasty. He actually belonged to the Chera line, right? So this was considered as a incorrect option. So 1 and 3 would be the correct option. The next is, which of the following factors contributed to the formation of the forward bloc by Subhash Chandra Bose in 1939? Now Subhash Chandra Bose formed this forward bloc in 1939 after the Tirupuri crisis that had happened and his resignation from the Congress party. Now once he resigned from the Congress party, he won the presidential seat but could not actually get the confidence of Mahatma Gandhi at that time. And this was the point where the cooperation of the Congress controlled organization was actually taken by the right wing. So Bose failed to win the Gandhi's confidence was correct. Congress left was disunited and failed to support Bose. Again, it was correct. And the supporters like M.N. Roy and JP was very important, and they preferred the Congress unity. So 1, 2 and 4 are the correct options. However, 3 is not the correct options. Communists did support Bose in his endeavors, and this was a kind of debatable topic for a long time. So 1, 2 and 4 has been the obvious correct answers. The next is British policy in Awadh after the annexation in 1856. Which of the following statements are correct? Now, after the annexation of Awadh in 1856, the British treated the talukdars as intermediaries who were actually alleged to have control over the land, right? So they were not dispossessed or allowed to retain the armed forces. So this statement that they were dispossessed is incorrect, right? The next important thing is the policy, the British policy involved undermining their own the old authorities, right? So summary revenue settlements were made treating talukdar as outsider, which we already said, and British tried to take the revenue directly from the peasants, and they were trying to remove the talukdars. That is again correct. So 2 and 3 are the correct explanation for this question. 1 is not correct, okay, because it says that they were dispossessed and allowed to retain arms and forts, which was incorrect. The next question is community-based political alliance originated in the nature of Montague-Chelmsford Reform 1919. Which of the following supports it? So here all 3 of them actually supported. The first statement says that the reform retained and extended the separate electorates. That's very, very clear. That was the basis of the Montague-Chelmsford Reform. Now the separate electorates encountered the growing Indian nationalism. That was again a logical outcome of it, because it was a result of the classic divide and rule policy that was initiated. Now the third one is interesting to understand. Deprived classes rallied around favors inherent in the separate electorates. Now this is very important to understand. Why? Because this was actually a behavioral consequence. Initially it was for the religious and the communal differences. However, when it was given to one, it was kind of favoring the inheritance for the remaining groups as well. So deprived classes were again thinking that they would have a similar structural incentives as the religious and the communal incentives were given. So all 3 of them technically would be the correct answer for this question. The next is Pandit Mallikarjun Mansur is a famous classical singer from Karnataka and usually represents the Jaipur Atulya Gharana. Now he is a vocalist, and association to this Gharana actually implies his allegiance to the complex rag system, the melodic architecture which is prevalent in the Jaipuri Atulya Gharana, and it is again one of the very rare forms of rag and laikaris which is explained under this Gharana. The next question is, in which of the texts does the term Kshatriya Patni means mistress of the field originate? Now this term originated in Atharva Ved. Now this term means the mistress of the field, which is connected to the Vedic idea of the fertility of the land, the agricultural sacredness, and therefore it was very, very important, and this was explained during the Atharva Veda, right? So those are some of the important questions from the first 20 set. We will be continuing the next sets in the sets of 20, so stay tuned for all the paper solutions. Thanks for joining.